Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing another tutorial for stickers. In this tutorial we're going to be showing you how to go from an actual photograph on the left into a sticker on the right. There's a few different ways of doing this. There's really no wrong way. I'm just going to show you my personal preference, which allows you to keep the proportions the same, as well as keep like the white outline perfectly the same width all the way around. As well as this yellow portion as well. I will be showing you a few different variations. So if you wanted it to be just around the people, not have that little bit of extra photograph, if you don't want the white on the outside, that kind of stuff, I'll show you how to do all of that. So the first thing that we're going to do is open up Gimp. Now again, this is a free program. I'll put the download link in the description below for you guys. It is my favorite to work with. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to copy this picture. Now the reason that I prefer to copy instead of opening it up is we're going to need to copy, we're going to need to paste it in again. And this just ensures that you're working with the same file size. So I'm just going to do a Control V, get that pasted in. And then as usual, the first thing we're going to do is add a new layer. Now for this layer, I'm going to call it scrap because we're going to end up deleting it after. It's just something that we're going to work with to make things easier and ensure that we're getting the right shapes and stuff. So the first thing that you want to do on this new layer is outline the focal point of the picture, whatever that you want to be the sticker. So for the purpose of this picture, we're going to be outlining the girls. Now we're not going to outline around them on the outside. We're going to go on the edge of them, but still on top of them. So we're going to grab our paintbrush. I'm going to zoom in to do this. And you can do this in any color. I prefer to pick a color that stands out from the image that you're using itself. It's easier to see. Now this, again, it doesn't have to be completely perfect. This isn't something that's staying. This is just going to outline the focus so that we know what is in the sticker. And this step is actually what's going to allow us to create all those outlines. Now, if you guys have any specific requests for tutorials or any questions regarding this tutorial, feel free to leave some comments on this video, and I'll definitely answer your comments, questions, and take notes of what you guys do want to see. So again, I'm not doing this completely perfect. The more time you take, obviously, the nicer it'll be. I'm doing this with my mouse today. Normally I would do this with my drawing pad. I will be making a video on the drawing pad that I have as well, so that you guys can see it's not very expensive, and it makes a world of a difference and just makes things a lot easier, especially if you're drawing out stickers and stuff. It makes it a lot easier to get smoother edges. Now this is a tutorial that I did do on TikTok earlier last week, I think it was, and it did pretty good. So I thought I would go in and make the same tutorial but for YouTube. That way there you can see all the buttons that I'm pressing and things like that, and actually see the full screen instead of just the image that I'm working on in the center. Now for something like this with the fingers, I'm choosing to go around the fingers. This is going to give you where is it? These like little lumps over here. If you preferred to have it just rounded off, you could just kind of go like this, and that would give you like one curved line instead of all the little bumps. So again, that's going to come down to personal preference. Once you play around with this a little bit, you're going to be able to see how the different functions work, and then you'll be able to determine exactly how you want things to look. This is going to be the most time-consuming part, but again, it's a really simple process to follow. Oops. So that line went way over her calf, so I just did a Control Z to get rid of that, and we'll try that one again. Almost done. Okay. So again, I'm going to outline each finger because that's how I did it on the other one. But you can do these sections however you'd like. The one thing I will note is that if you are not going to be adding any of like the picture in it, just the girls themselves, outline the girls themselves and then put a white outline around that, I'd suggest taking a little bit more time with this step, because however you do it is how the sticker is going to end up. So you might just want to take a little bit more time so that it really is right around the girls and there's no yellow included or parts where you're missing, you know, part of their arm or anything like that. But since we're adding some of the yellow, it doesn't have to be as perfect. That being said, you don't really want any jagged edges in areas that there's not supposed to be, because that is going to directly affect the outlines. So our girls are outlined. So that is step one, and again, that's the most tedious thing to do. The rest is pretty quick and easy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our bucket tool, and we're just going to fill them in with the same color. Now, as you can see, I pressed the bucket tool. There's still an outline in between where I outlined and where I just filled with the bucket tool. If you just hit it a second time, that will go away. So we're going to do the same with this one. This isn't something that I recommend if you are drawing and designing stickers and trying to fill large areas, to do it twice. I would only fill it once and then grab your paintbrush and fill in that little missing piece, just because it adds a more rough edge around the outline. But again, for this, it'll work just fine. So now let's zoom out and see what we're working with. All right. So we have our background layer, which is a picture, and then we have this front layer, which is the purple that I just put in. So as you can see, the picture is untouched. We haven't done anything with it. That's kind of how we want to do things. That is the glory of using GIMP, is you never really want to put anything on your base picture itself. You do everything in layers. So now that this layer is done, what we're going to do is we're going to right click on the scrap layer in our layers menu. So if I right click here, we're going to go over to alpha to selection. What alpha to selection does is put an outline around anything that's in that layer. So as you can see, we have these nice flashy lines here. That's just showing us the outline itself. If you wanted the sticker to just be the girls and not have any outline of the yellow, you would have the choice to add a white outline afterwards. But if you wanted to stop that there, what you could do is just hide your background here. you would do edit, paste into selection, and your girls would be there. You would just grab your move tool and slide them where they go, and voila, you've got your sticker. I'm going to undo that. Now what we're going to be doing, because we want to add some of the yellow into it, we're going to make this grow a bit, like widen it so that we can get that effect. So what we're going to do is go up to select, and then we're going to click on grow. And I'm going to start with 25. We'll see how big that brings us. I think we can probably go a little bit bigger. So I'm going to undo that. Grow. Let's try maybe 35. I think that's pretty good. So now that we have it grown, we're going to add a layer. Or sorry, we're going to paste into here. So we're going to go select again, and then, edit, paste into selection. Just like we just did. But now because we've grown it, we're going to have room for some of that yellow to show. So we're going to grab the girls with our move tool, slide them up. Now the reason that they didn't paste into place perfectly is because when you paste into selection, Gimp automatically makes your pasted layer in the center of the screen, like the canvas. And because I moved my canvas in and out by zooming in and out, it kind of moves that around. But it's really easy the way that we did it to figure out where the girls are supposed to be. So if you look here on the bottom, there's a space, which means I've gone too high. So I'm just going to lower them a bit. And then that seems to be pretty good. Now that they're in, if you look here on the layers panel, they're floating there. So they're not anchored in. They're going to continuously move around. So we want to press this green square at the bottom that has an anchor on it, and that will anchor them in. So now our scrap layer is no longer scrap. It's our actual sticker. So if we hide that, they disappear. And then we've gotten rid of all that pink that we did. Now you can end here, keep this as a sticker, or if you'd like, you can continue on, which is my personal preference, to add the white layer around the sticker. So what we're going to do is we're going to be following the same steps that we just did. That being said, with this particular sticker, because they're being cut off at the bottom, the way that the picture was, like it didn't showcase all of them, we're missing the bottom a little bit. If I grow it again and add the white, we're actually not going to end up with white on the bottom because it's the end of the canvas. So what we're going to need to do in this particular case is, one, we can either move them or grow the canvas. So I'll just show you quickly. So because they have the outline on them, I'm going to do a select and then none, just to get rid of that. So we have two options. So we can grab our move tool and move them over so that we can have enough room to grow it a little bit more and add that white. However, you won't always have that option if your canvas is much smaller. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to grow your canvas. We're going to go to image, canvas size, and then here we have width and height. So if we look on the left here, she's a little close. So we're going to want to make sure we go up. So I'm just going to go up to 1600. Again, this is going to depend and vary on the pictures that you're using and how many pixels they are. And then for height, we want to make it bigger, so I'll just go up to 2500. Then you want to hit center so that your image goes in the center. It'll just make it easier for you. And then you go to the bottom and you hit resize. Now we've got plenty of room on all sides, and then we can crop it down later once we know how big it's going to be with the white outline. So our next step is to alpha to selection this again. So we're going to right click on scrap and we're going to do alpha to selection. Now instead of wrapping right around the girls, it's wrapped around what we have here, which is the yellow, which is perfect. We're going to do a select and grow, and then I'm gonna hit OK. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. So we have 35 here. Yeah, that'll be pretty good. So now what we want to do is we want to layer, new layer, and we're going to hit sticker background. Again, you can name these whatever you'd like. The reason we do this is if on here, on our main screen, if I were to color drop, let me just pick the white here. If I were to color drop white in here on this layer, if you scroll in, it doesn't always fill in here properly. Depending on the color schemes that you're working with and stuff, it'll leave some blank areas, and we want to avoid that. We want to always make sure that everything is as full as possible, so that when it comes time to cut your stickers in design space, you're not dealing with your cutter cutting random holes inside your sticker. So we're going to click on sticker background and then just hit anywhere inside there to fill. And as you can see, we now have white all the way around. So the next thing I would do, just for saving sizes, I like to be able to upload a sticker and also see it in my files as big as possible. So we're going to grab the crop tool, which is just below your move tool. Make a square around them. And then when you go near the edges of it, you'll see a yellow rectangle pop up. When that pops up, you can click onto it and drag your edges closer. So I usually put it about 1 block away from the image, if you can see all these little squares. And then just hit enter on your keyboard. And just like that, we have a sticker made. So we went over this. Now, I'm just going to go over saving again, just because I get asked this question all the time. There's a lot of people that don't know about the exporting. So when you look under File, there's Save, Save As, and Export As. What you want to do to save the sticker as a file so that you can come back and edit it again, change colors, do whatever you want to do with it, that is your save as, your regular save as. It'll save as an XCF, and that will be like in whatever folder you pick to put it. When you click on it, it'll open up Gimp, open up this, you'll see your layers menus and all that stuff. So it is good to save as. However, what people forget to do is to export as. So you want to export as a PNG, which supports the transparent background, so that you do end up with your white outline. If you save as anything else, you'll end up with the background, because it doesn't support a transparent background. It'll fill it in with white, and then it'll forego the work that you did to put the white outline around your image and your sticker. So you want to export as, and at the top you want to call it whatever you want. So 2 girls sticker, and then you'll see it says .png. You can, if it has something else, you can manually put in .png, or if you're more comfortable looking for it, you can do that as well. You just hit the plus sign on select file type by extension, and then you scroll through until you find PNG in the extensions list. So I'm going to go ahead and export this. And now we have a sticker. Now, if you weren't sure which variation you wanted to go with at all, again, the way that Gimp works is when you hit export, it exports whatever is on the screen. So if I were to hide this background, I can now file export. As long as I name it something different, it'll save, as something else. And now I have the exported version of this here without the white outline. So it does give you the opportunity to play around with things, and you're never set to one specific result. You can always go in and play with it again. The last thing you would want to do is just do a file save as. I'm not going to do that because I've already got a few versions of this saved because of the TikTok tutorial. So yeah, so this is just a really easy way to go from this and turn it into this. I think these make really cute stickers. If you're celebrating somebody's birthday, or you're into scrapbooking, journaling, really anything, these are great ways to, just personalize things, make a memory of, a great photograph, a great place, whatever it may be. You can do sunsets, you can do horizons, like you name it, you can do it. All you have to do is remember to go in, outline the area that you want to be the focal point of your actual sticker, fill that in, do an alpha to selection, and then paste in your new picture. Whether you decide to grow it or not, that is your choice, but essentially that is the 3 steps on how to do it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to be having more coming out later this week. Again, if you have any suggestions or requests, feel free to put it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.